Hello soul family and welcome to Spiritual Universe. Are you feeling lost and confused about your divine masculine connection? Do you sense, deep within your soul, that he knows exactly who you are, yet keeps you hidden from the world? The silence, the distance, and the unanswered questions can feel unbearable at times. You wonder why the pull between you is so strong but unspoken, and why his actions don't match what your heart already knows. If this resonates with you, understand this: you are here for a reason. Spirit has guided you to this moment. In today's video, we at Spiritual Universe will take you deep into the heart of this connection. Together, we'll uncover why your divine masculine knows who you are but chooses to hide you, what fears keep him trapped behind his mask, and how these silent struggles are part of a greater divine plan for both of you. This isn't about sugar-coated answers or fairy tales, it's about truth, clarity, and understanding. Spirit has placed this message here so you can finally see what your intuition has been whispering all along. By the end of this video, you'll begin to see everything differently. You'll understand the deeper reasons behind his silence and recognize that this journey is about much more than his choices. It's about your sovereignty, your alignment, and your power. You'll leave with clarity, peace, and a renewed sense of purpose on your spiritual path. So, take a deep breath with us. Inhale truth, exhale fear, because Spirit has been preparing you for this moment. Today, together, we step into the light of understanding. Section 1. He knows who you are. Your divine masculine knows exactly who you are, not vaguely, not eventually, but with a certainty so profound that it shook something deep within him the very moment your souls crossed paths. It wasn't a slow realization or a quiet unfolding, it was instantaneous. The second your eyes met, the energy shifted around you. Time seemed to pause, the air thickened, and a silent recognition echoed between you louder than any words ever could. It was as though his soul whispered, "There you are." This was not an ordinary encounter. It was a collision of destiny, a strike of divine alignment so powerful that it shattered every wall he had built around his heart. Beneath all the roles he plays, beneath the masks he wears for the world, his spirit knew yours. He felt it in his chest, in his breath, in a place deeper than logic could ever reach. That recognition was undeniable, and it terrified him as much as it awakened him. He knows you are the mirror, the reflection of his truest, rawest self. He sees in you the parts of him he has spent years hiding, denying, or suppressing. You are the match, the one soul whose frequency harmonizes perfectly with his, igniting a pull he cannot explain or control. Your energy calls to him, not just through attraction, but through remembrance. On a soul level, he recognizes you as someone he has known beyond time, beyond lifetimes. And yet, despite knowing this truth so clearly, he hides you from the world. This is not confusion, and it is not because he is lost. Do not mistake his silence for ignorance or indifference. His retreat is intentional, deliberate, and calculated. He is protecting something, but not you, not the connection, not even his heart. What he protects is the image he has spent years carefully constructing, the narrative of who he is expected to be, the roles society handed him, and the fragile tower of approvals he's built to keep everyone else comfortable. He fears that standing beside you openly would force him to dismantle the life he has performed for so long. Choosing you would require choosing himself, the truest, unfiltered, unmasked version he has buried beneath layers of expectations and obligations. That thought alone terrifies him, because stepping into his authentic self means stepping away from the safety of the familiar, the applause of others, and the comfort of roles that have never truly fit his spirit. So, he hides you, not because he doesn't feel the connection, but because he feels it too deeply. You are the truth that threatens the story he tells the world, the light that exposes where he has been living in shadows. And until he is ready to confront his own reflection, he keeps you concealed, as if hiding you will somehow delay the moment he must finally face himself. Take a moment to breathe and let this sink in. If what we've shared resonates with your heart, know that you are not alone on this journey. The depth of this connection is real, and Spirit has guided you here for a reason. Before we move into the next part, where we'll uncover why he wears the mask and what keeps him hiding his truth. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or your story, or simply type "My soul remembers" to affirm your connection and anchor this energy into your reality. And if this message speaks to you, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach more souls who need to hear this truth. Now, let's dive deeper into the hidden layers of his silence and the mask he wears for the world. Section 2. The mask he wears. You are the truth that would set him free, and that is exactly why he treats you like a threat. It's not because he doesn't see you, and it's certainly not because he doesn't feel the connection. It's because choosing you would mean confronting the deepest parts of himself that he has spent years avoiding. Claiming you openly would force him to step out from behind the walls he has built, dismantling the illusions and masks he has carefully maintained for so long. For years, he has curated a version of himself for the world: steady, reliable, agreeable, and safe. It is the persona he shows to gain acceptance and approval. He knows exactly which smile to wear at family gatherings, which carefully measured tone to use with colleagues, and which silences to maintain with friends. Every response, every gesture, every word is calculated to preserve the image of a man who has it all figured out. But beneath that controlled exterior lies a different story, one you have already glimpsed. You, divine feminine, are the one person who cannot be deceived by his performance. You see through it instantly, not with judgment but with understanding. You feel the parts of him that even he denies, the rawness he hides behind practiced composure. Where others are satisfied with his surface, you call the deeper man to rise. You awaken the parts of his soul he buried under expectations, responsibilities, and fear. And that is exactly why he keeps you in the shadows. You are the only one who challenges his mask, the only one who refuses to be fooled by the role he plays for the world. You don't fall in love with the costume, you love the core. You don't admire the image, you see the truth. But for him to let you stand fully beside him, he would have to step into that same light himself, and that terrifies him more than anything. Because in the light, there is no pretending, no carefully chosen words, no curated smiles, no shields to hide behind. To claim you openly would demand vulnerability, a surrender of control, of ego, and of the carefully constructed narrative he has built to keep himself safe. It would mean showing up as his truest self, without performance, without mask, without compromise. And so, for now, he hides you not because you are small, but because you are too big for the life he has been pretending to live. You represent truth, transformation, and freedom, and he is not yet ready to face the cost of stepping into all three. But know this, the very mask he clings to so tightly is also the prison that keeps him trapped. And sooner or later, Spirit will bring him to a moment where keeping that mask on becomes more painful than taking it off. Section 3. The lie he tells the world. Ask him about you, and watch how quickly his mask slips into place. He will minimize your importance, deflect the question, or deny the connection entirely. He'll change the subject effortlessly, label you as history, or act as though you were nothing more than a fleeting moment he's long forgotten. On the surface, he performs indifference flawlessly. To those around him, it seems believable, but beneath that performance lies a private truth, a truth so relentless that he cannot escape it, no matter how hard he tries. Because while his lips deny you, his soul cannot. You live in the spaces he cannot control, the breath between his sentences, the silence between his words, the quiet moments when he is alone with himself. When the noise of the world fades and the distractions run out, you are there, uninvited yet undeniable. In the stillness after midnight, when the phone is face down, the room is dark, and silence grows loud, you return. You live in his unspoken thoughts, the ones he can't bury, no matter how much he wants to. He replays your conversations, word by word, like scenes from a story that never ends. He remembers the tone of your voice, the way your energy shifts a room, the unguarded look in your eyes when you see him for who he truly is. When he closes his own eyes, yours appear vivid, alive, and impossible to erase. Even when he tries to distract himself, your presence echoes inside him, unshaken and unforgotten. He feels your energy like a current beneath his skin. It's not just memory, it's resonance. Your frequency moves through his days in ways he cannot explain, slipping into the quiet moments and ambushing him when he least expects it. A familiar song plays on the radio, and suddenly his chest tightens. A place you once walked together shows up on his commute, and his pulse quickens without warning. Then, without fail, there's 11:11 on the clock again, the universe reminding him, whispering to his spirit, pulling him back to what he keeps trying to avoid. Synchronicity stalks runners, and he is running on borrowed time. No matter how fast he moves or how carefully he hides, Spirit leaves breadcrumbs everywhere, numbers, songs, names, signs, forcing him to face the reality he wants to escape. The harder he tries to pretend you don't matter, the more the universe conspires to remind him that you do. And deep down, he knows it. That's why the mask feels heavier each day, why the performance is growing harder to maintain, and why the truth he hides from the world has already become the truth he cannot hide from himself. Imagine this. He's at dinner with friends, laughing, telling stories, and playing the role everyone expects of him. Someone casually brings up your name, maybe in passing, maybe as part of a shared memory, and you watch his reaction carefully. Outwardly, he shrugs, offers a quick smile, and says something dismissive like, "Oh, that was a long time ago," or "We don't really talk anymore." He changes the subject smoothly, convincing everyone around him that you're just another chapter he has already closed. But what no one sees is the way his hand tightens around the glass, the way his breath subtly catches, or how his gaze flickers downward for a fraction of a second. Inside, his heart pounds because the mention of your name pulls him straight out of the performance and into the memory of you. Later that night, when the noise fades and the mask slips, he replays that moment in silence. He remembers the way you laughed, the way your eyes met his, the way the world once felt alive when you were near. And he wonders how he can keep lying to himself when the truth is still so loud inside his chest. The example isn't about the dinner, the words, or the performance. It's about the disconnect between what he shows the world and what he cannot silence within. This is the duality he lives with daily, a carefully crafted image on the outside and an undeniable truth on the inside. No matter how convincing the act, his energy exposes him, because energy doesn't lie, and when the soul remembers, pretending becomes the heaviest burden of all. Section 4. The fear behind the hiding. Let us call this what it truly is: fear. Not hesitation, not confusion. Fear in its rawest form. Ego fear, social fear, survival fear. Fear so deeply rooted that it shapes his choices, his silence, and his actions more than he wants to admit. He fears disappointing the people who built their expectations of him, even though many of them have never truly seen his authentic self. He fears stepping outside the carefully constructed image he has spent years maintaining, an image designed to keep others comfortable, even as it suffocates him inside. He fears losing a status he never truly wanted, but has carried like a badge to gain approval. He fears walking away from a version of life that looks good on the outside, but feels hollow at the core. And above all, he fears being fully seen, stripped of every wall, every disguise, every illusion of control he has depended on to feel safe. Because to stand in the open, exposed and unguarded, would mean confronting the very parts of himself he has spent years avoiding. So he tells himself stories to make it easier to bear. He convinces himself he's protecting you, shielding others, maintaining balance, and keeping order. He claims this secrecy is noble, that staying silent is safer for everyone involved. But the truth is far simpler than the stories he spins. He isn't protecting you, or them, or even the connection. He is protecting the prison. That fragile version of life he's built, the roles, the masks, the expectations, the carefully curated identity is starting to crack, and deep down, he knows it cannot hold forever. Every time he feels your energy, every time he sees your reflection in his thoughts, Every time Spirit sends a sign he cannot ignore, another piece of that facade begins to crumble. And he knows something else too. You are the earthquake. You are the force that shakes loose the illusions he has spent his whole life clinging to. You represent freedom, transformation, and truth, and that terrifies him. Because stepping into his truth doesn't just mean choosing you, it means choosing himself in a way he has never dared before. And until he gathers the courage to face that, he hides, clinging to the safety of the known even as it cages his soul. But Spirit has a way of making comfort temporary. Sooner or later, the cost of pretending will outweigh the cost of truth. And when that moment arrives, his fear will no longer be enough to keep him from the path meant for him. Section 5. How he really feels. Do not mistake his silence for indifference. His distance is not a lack of care. It is the weight of feelings too intense to be spoken aloud. His emotions are not small, they are volcanic, powerful enough to shake everything he thought he knew about himself and his life. Beneath the calm surface he shows the world, there is a storm raging inside him, a fire that refuses to be extinguished. When your name crosses his mind, the temperature in his body shifts instantly. His breath catches, his heartbeat stutters, and it feels as though every cell in his being recognizes you all over again. And when you withdraw your focus, when your energy pulls away, even slightly, he feels it like a sudden vacuum, a quiet emptiness that nothing else seems to fill. Your absence is not silent to him. It echoes louder than words ever could. He feels your rise too. Whenever you step into your power, whenever you grow, heal, or shine more brightly, he senses it. Something deep within him trembles because your evolution threatens the stability of the small, controlled world he has built. He shakes not from fear of you, but from fear of what you awaken in him, the parts of himself he has avoided, denied, or buried under years of expectations and masks. He craves you with an intensity he cannot explain, and sometimes wishes he could escape. He wants you with every fiber of his being, yet resents the craving because it makes him feel out of control. He longs for you and fears the aftermath of claiming you. He imagines a future with you, but the weight of what it would cost him keeps him paralyzed between desire and hesitation. Even in his dreams, there is no hiding. You visit him there, uninvited but undeniable, stirring emotions he tries to suppress when he wakes. And those dreams feel more alive than the reality he walks through each day, a reality that demands silence, control, and compliance. Each morning, he wakes unsettled, carrying traces of the world you share in spirit, only to return to a life that no longer fits the truth he feels within. And still, he hides you. Not because you aren't real, not because he doubts the connection, but precisely because you are too real. You are the one thing he cannot reduce, cannot dismiss, cannot compartmentalize into the safe boxes he's built around his life. You are the reflection of everything he wants but fears he is not yet ready to receive. His silence is not rejection, it is reverence mixed with fear. It is the tension of a man torn between the life he has constructed and the life his soul is calling him toward. You are not unseen, and you are not forgotten, you are unforgettable. Every part of him remembers you, even when his words and actions pretend otherwise. If you've made it this far, take a moment to breathe and let everything settle in your heart. His silence may confuse you, but now you understand that it carries far more depth than it appears on the surface. These feelings are real, powerful, and undeniable, and Spirit has guided you here to receive this clarity. We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments. Have you felt this intense connection? Have you sensed his emotions even when words were absent? Share your experience below, or simply type, "My soul knows the truth," to affirm what your spirit already understands. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach others who are walking the same sacred path. Now, stay with us as we go even deeper into this journey, uncovering the hidden reasons behind his silence and what Spirit wants you to know about your next steps. Section 6. Why he hides you. He hides you because you are his truth, and truth has consequences. You are not just another person in his story. You are the chapter that changes the entire book. You represent the mirror he cannot look away from, the reminder of who he truly is beneath the masks, roles, and expectations he spent years maintaining. And to stand beside you openly, to choose you fully and honestly, would require dismantling the very foundation of the life he has carefully constructed. Being with you out loud, without apology, would mean ending the performance entirely. No more curated smiles, no more rehearsed words, no more carefully chosen masks designed to keep everyone else comfortable. It would mean choosing soul over audience, alignment over approval, destiny over convenience. It would demand that he step out of the roles handed to him by family, society, or circumstance, and step into the man his spirit has been calling him to become. But claiming you openly would not come without cost. It would require breaking patterns deeply rooted in habit and fear, walking away from contracts both spoken and unspoken that keep him tied to versions of himself he has already outgrown. It would mean shattering the silent agreements that maintain appearances, even when they no longer serve his soul. And most of all, it would require breaking his silence, finally choosing truth over pretense, no matter who it unsettles or disappoints. That is not a small decision, and he feels the weight of it every single day. To claim you is to choose transformation, and transformation always carries risk. He fears what he might lose: approval, relationships, stability. But deep down, he also knows what he would gain: freedom, alignment, and a love his soul has waited lifetimes to experience. Yet for now, that knowing lives quietly beneath layers of hesitation. And so, he borrows your courage from a distance. Every time you rise, every time you stand in your power, every time you choose your truth without apology, you remind him of what's possible. You become living proof that authenticity is not only survivable but liberating. Even when he cannot yet take that leap himself, your light illuminates the path he is destined to walk. He hides you not because you aren't worthy, but because deep down, he knows that choosing you means choosing a life where nothing can ever be the same again. But spirit is patient, and truth has a way of demanding to be lived. There will come a moment when keeping you in the shadows costs him more than stepping into the light. And when that moment arrives, he will have to decide between the comfort of his illusions and the destiny his soul has already chosen. Section 7. Spirit's message for you. Spirit wants you to hear this clearly. Do not chase what already knows your name. You do not need to run after someone whose soul already recognizes you, because this connection was written long before either of you arrived in this lifetime. You are not here to beg for attention, to prove your worth, or to earn love that is already yours on a higher plane. Do not shrink yourself to fit inside his fear. His hesitation is his to face, his wounds are his to heal, and his timeline is his to walk. You are not here to dim your light just to make his shadow feel safe. Spirit did not call you to this path so you could twist yourself into shapes that make others comfortable. You are here to embody your truth, your power, and your sovereignty, to rise into the fullness of who you are. Do not audition for a role you already wrote with your soul. You do not need to prove that you belong in his life, because the connection between you is eternal. Your task now is not to convince him, but to anchor into your own heart. Feel the steady rhythm of your intuition. Trust your inner guidance, even when the external world feels uncertain. Speak your truth without theatrics, without over-explaining, and without apology. Move through life like a woman who knows her worth because Spirit already designed you to be unshakable. When you stand in your power, something extraordinary happens. You make his mask heavier. Every time you choose your purpose, his illusions feel less livable. Every time you rise in alignment, the life he has been performing begins to crumble under its own weight. You are not forcing his awakening. Your being is the catalyst. Your alignment becomes the silent pressure that calls his soul forward, inviting him to step into his highest self. And through it all, Spirit is working behind the scenes. Trust that nothing is random. Every sign, every repeated number, every song that appears at the perfect moment is a message, a reminder that this connection is divinely orchestrated. Spirit uses every synchronicity, every dream, every encounter to lead both of you toward transformation, even when it looks like nothing is happening on the surface. Your role is not to push, but to trust. Trust that by standing in your light, you are already fulfilling your purpose. Trust that your sovereignty is the key to unlocking not just his growth, but yours. Spirit has not brought you this far to abandon you. Now every moment is preparing you for what is yet to come. Take a deep breath and let Spirit's message settle into your heart. You are not here to chase, to prove, or to beg for what your soul already knows is yours. You are here to stand in your power and trust the divine timing of your journey. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment and reflect on where you are being called to rise, to align, and to choose yourself more fully. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Share your story if you feel guided, or simply type, "I choose my alignment," to anchor this truth into your reality. And if this message speaks to your soul, don't forget to like this video so that more hearts in this collective can find the guidance they've been waiting for. Now, stay with us as we move into the next section, where we'll uncover how Spirit is guiding your connection forward and why your energy is the key to transformation. Section 8. The Threshold of Truth. There always comes a moment in every soul's journey when the weight of pretending becomes heavier than the fear of truth. No matter how carefully someone hides, no matter how long they delay, there is a threshold, a breaking point, where the mask begins to crumble under its own weight. And your divine masculine is approaching that threshold now. The signs are multiplying. His dreams are louder, more vivid, carrying messages he can no longer ignore. Synchronicities follow him everywhere, repeated numbers, familiar songs, unexpected reminders of you in places he never thought to look. Spirit is surrounding him with signals, urging him to face what he has spent so long running from. He can silence his words, but he cannot silence the call of his own soul. Each day, the performance he has perfected feels less sustainable. The roles he plays for the world, the dependable son, the loyal friend, the reasonable colleague, the man who has it all together, no longer fit the shape of his spirit. Deep inside, he knows the life he has been living was built to please others, not to honor his truth. And every time Spirit places you in his awareness, the contrast between the illusion and the reality grows harder to ignore. This is why he feels restless, even in moments that should bring him peace. This is why the old comforts no longer satisfy him, why achievements feel hollow, and why silence between you carries more weight than words ever could. Spirit is rearranging his world from the inside out, stripping away the distractions, forcing him to confront the decision he has avoided for so long. Because there comes a day when hiding you hurts more than claiming you. A day when denying the connection feels like denying himself. A day when the cost of silence becomes heavier than the upheaval of truth. That day is drawing near not because you're pushing, but because Spirit is pulling him toward alignment. And when that threshold is crossed, there is no turning back. Until then, trust the timing. Spirit knows the exact moment when the walls will break, when the resistance will collapse, and when the soul will choose what it has always known. This is not about forcing his hand, this is about divine unfolding. The truth is inevitable, and no matter how long he runs, Spirit will always guide him back to where he belongs. Section 9. What to do until then. Until the moment arrives when he is ready to step fully into the truth of this connection, your task is not to wait, your task is to rise. Hold your standard, no matter what. Protect your energy and guard your peace like the sacred gift it is. Stop trying to explain, convince, or beg for what your soul already knows is real. Spirit wants you to remember this. Your silence carries more power than your words ever could. Silence is not absence, silence is potency. It creates the space where his soul can finally hear itself without his ego interfering. When you step back, when you choose not to chase, your energy becomes the mirror he cannot escape. In the quiet, without your constant presence softening his discomfort, he is forced to face his own reflection. Spirit uses this space as an initiation, a sacred pause where his resistance begins to crumble and clarity finally has room to breathe. But silence does not mean passivity. Be kind, but not available to disrespect. Be compassionate, but not compliant with smallness. Set boundaries that honor your worth, and keep them bright and unshakable. You are not here to dim your light so he can avoid his shadows. You are not here to fold yourself smaller to fit inside someone else's fear. You are here to embody your fullness, to stand in your sovereignty, and to rise into the wholeness Spirit designed you to claim. Remember, you are not waiting for him, you are aligning with yourself. The more you choose your growth, your healing, and your purpose, the more you shift the energy of this connection. When you choose yourself without apology, you create the exact frequency that invites him into his own awakening. Your alignment becomes the silent force that inspires his transformation without you having to say a word. Spirit wants you to know this. You are not here to be hidden, you are here to be whole. Do not abandon yourself while waiting for someone else to find their way. Choose your light, choose your power, choose your path. And in doing so, you make space for the universe to orchestrate the reunion in divine timing, exactly as it's meant to unfold. Divine Feminine, hear this clearly one last time. He knows. He has always known. From the very first moment, his soul recognized yours, and no amount of silence or distance can erase that truth. But understand this, he hides you not because you are unreal, but because you are too real. He hides you because choosing you would force him to stop hiding from himself. And while he delays, while he lingers in fear, Spirit is reminding you that you cannot and must not wait in the shadows. You are not here to race his clock, to pause your destiny, or to dim your light so he can feel safe in his illusions. You are here to walk forward, clear, gentle, sovereign, and unstoppable into the life Spirit designed for you. The path you walk does not require apology, shrinking, or compromise. It requires truth, integrity, and courage. And when the moment comes, when the dam finally breaks, he will either meet you in the light or he will step aside. Either way, your soul is honored. Either way, you rise. So breathe, bless the journey, and proceed with the quiet power of someone who knows their worth. Speak your standards with confidence. Guard your peace with unwavering strength. Trust that the universe will match your courage with miracles so undeniable that you cannot miss them. Because destiny has never required you to chase. It has only ever required you to align. And now, beloved soul, I want to challenge you. If these words resonated with you, anchor them into your reality by leaving a comment below with this affirmation: my soul chooses sovereignty. Let this be your declaration to Spirit, a signal that you are ready to walk your path without apology. Share your reflections, your stories, and your heart, because your words may be the light someone else needs in their own journey. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who may need this truth, and stay with us for the video waiting just below your screen. Spirit always brings you to the right message at the right time, and the next chapter will take you even deeper into your awakening. We are Spiritual Universe, and we'll see you in the next chapter, a place where truth stands without apology, where love no longer hides behind a mask, and where souls rise together in the light.